Okay, so quick update. I figured, what the heck? I'm just sitting around here for another half an hour until some lectures, whatever you want to call it, webinars, I think is what the technical name is for what's going to happen. So I don't know if that's going to be on Play's YouTube channel or if it will be on on this Facebook group for the Plaay-Not-Con. If you're not subscribed to the Not-Con Facebook group, then you may not be able to see them. I don't 100% know. Hang on a second. I just had my notebook where I wrote down the lineups that I used for the stuff here earlier. Hi, Mark. So, so not winning, at least me, Mark Russell, he took the same team. You know, I think he gave Keith and Sam the extra money under the table. I didn't buy into the platinum package, so it has nothing to do with that. It's just I had some really bad luck, and so game one. So I got matched up against the 1980 Athletics, and game one, it was going pretty swimmingly. Now, the leadoff batter for Oakland, Ricky Henderson, walked, then stole. This is the first inning. I'll just go through and tell you what happened. And then I think it was Wayne Gross, the third baseman. I hit him second. He seemed like a pretty good... I didn't go with their real lineups. I went with what I thought would be a good lineup for each team to have. And so I did tweak things a little bit. Obviously, Henderson is a guy you're pretty much automatically going to throw at the top of the order pretty much every time. So hitting second was Gross, and he singled in Henderson for the 1-0 lead. And then Brett Saberhagen kind of like pulled it together and got the next three in order. And then the Royals responded in the bottom of the first with a single from Willie Wilson to lead off. Moved to second on the walk by George Brett. I hit Brett second. And then Danny Tartable, he popped out. So 2 outs from him, and then probably one of my mistakes, although it didn't hurt me so much later in the game. I had Bo Jackson hitting cleanup. And so he struck out. So that was 2 outs. But then Steve Balboni hitting in the 5-hole came through with a real clutch single to make it 1-1. Knocked home Wilson. So that was how it went. The second inning, the Royals took the lead. Frank White hitting 7th, got on base. I had Quirk sack him over, and then with a bunt. And then after Salazar was out grounding, or on a ground out, Wilson got his second hit of the game, Willie Wilson, and knocked home White. So that made it 2-1. Then in the third inning, the Athletics responded with Gross then coming through with a homer, solo home run with 2 outs, made it 2-2. Then, let's see, all the way to the 6th before any more action happened. And that was for the Royals, and this is when it started looking like things were going to be in good shape. We had Balboni lead off with a single, then I had Seitzer hitting 6th. He also singled, that moved Balboni to third, so it was first to third, nobody out. Frank White, and I believe that may have even been I'm pretty sure that was the hit and run that I did in that situation. I think I did a hit and run in the second game, and it didn't turn out so well. But anyway, so that got me first to third, and then Frank White smacked one through the hole and knocked home Balboni to make it 3-2, and Seitzer ended up at third. And then a sac fly from Quirk gets him an RBI, and that made it 4-2. And I'm thinking, ooh, this is looking pretty nice. So that was the bottom of the 6th, or through 6. Top of the 7th, a run back for the Athletics. Revering gets on base, or Revering. I'm not sure how maybe someone can give me an idea how his name is said. I didn't watch a ton of baseball. I would have been 6 years old in this season, but probably Revering is how you would say his name. 1 out single, and then another single to follow that up from Murphy, center fielder. And then let's see. So that put first and third, with 1 out, a hit by pitch. So Saberhagen started to struggle a little bit here in certain ways. Essien got hit by the pitch, the catcher, and then Cox lined out. They made it 2 outs, but then a crucial error from Frank White made an error at second, which put Mario Guerrero on base with the bases loaded, and so that drove home Revering that made it 4-3. Had to replace Saberhagen at that point with Davis. I think it was John Davis, and he did get a strikeout of Henderson to end the inning. So that was through 7. It was 4-3, or not through 7, top of the 7th. We got to the bottom. Things got better again. George Brett, leadoff walk, single from Tartable. Brett had to stop at second, so first and second, nobody out, and then a double from Bo Jackson drove them all home, and that double was, and the single to Tartable, that was off of Hamilton, who I had brought in, especially because when I did my pregame rolls, he was made hot for the game. So so that made it 6-3, and things were looking pretty good. Things were looking pretty good there. They did get out of the inning after that. Then the top of the 8th, of course, the A's start coming back again. Let's see. Error on Seitzer to lead off the inning was probably the worst. That was bad enough. And then Mitchell Page, I think it's Mitchell Page is his name. I don't have all of the first names. Well, I could look it up through my... Anyway, I think that's his name. He got a triple with 1 out to drive home Gross. That made it 6-4. And then we got to the 9th, bringing in Quisenberry. Keep my fingers crossed. So then he gets Cox to pop out. He had 8-9 hitters coming up. I'm like, okay, maybe we can get through this. So then Guerrero gets a single. And so then you're bringing up Henderson and everybody else. Henderson walks, Gross walks. That loads the bases. Then he gets Armas to fly out shallow, which made 2 outs with the bases loaded. I'm like, okay, we still got a pretty good chance of getting through this. Then Page walks. So that makes it 6-4. And then Revering singles again. So that makes it 2 for 5 for him on the game. Singles, drives in, let's see. He drove in Henderson. And then Murphy singled after that to drive in the winning run, Gross. And then I brought in Lacey for the A's to close it down after it were 7-6. So Tartable did get on base with 1 out, but that was how that one ended. So 7-6 was the final. Really heartbreaking, blown save loss for Quisenberry. And so that was kind of already where I was thinking to myself, this is not going to be good. And then we went to the game 2, and this was a lot quicker. This was just, it was Lee Brandt and Norris. Lee Brandt pitched really well, 8 innings strong, but in the 6th inning, with 1 out, Henderson gets nailed with a pitch. He then steals second, and then right away, Mario Guerrero knocks him home. Facing the lefty, I moved Guerrero up to the second hole, and he comes through with the game-winning run batted in, knocking in Henderson, and that was that. Norris, complete game. Let's see, how many hits did the Royals have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, 1 walk, and a hit by pitch. That was it. He faced 31 batters on the day, and so that is my short-lived baseball tournament. This game is going to come out for a TBL once I get the other one finished up. So never fear, but it's going to be going away for a little while here, while I still have 50 some odd games to go. So Wilson, Seitzer, Brett, Tartable, Jackson, Balboni, White, Owen, Salazar. That's pretty good. Yeah, Bo didn't even sniff the home run king. So in that second game, the decider die also really took one out of me, because Seitzer had in the book there, let's see, which roll is it? It's the hit by pitch roll. So the batter hit by pitch, 266 or 226. Batter hit by pitch. It was the decider die was yes, so I had to go with the hit by pitch. If he had, because I had hit him in the cleanup spot that game. If he had not been hit by the pitch, if the decider die was a no, he was a cleanup batter. It would have been a homer. It would have been tied at 1. So the decider die really took one out of me there, and it would have been a little better. Revering, okay. Well, Revering. That sounds like the place where you really get the motor wound up at a German racetrack. It's the Revering. Kind of like the Nürburgring or the Hockenheimring. So, or in Austria, the Red Bull Ring, if you will. What used to be called, I think, the A1 ring. Let me see here. Yeah, I posted in this not-con room that I need a new decider die because mine's broken. And I didn't mean from breaking it. Although, I do have a hammer here somewhere. I could probably take a... But no, I just broken, and that it's not... it should... I should get the country club roll with that thing. So, yeah. Saberhagen just got into some trouble, and I mean they just gave up too many runs. They got to the point where they were just and with DHs you don't really need to remove a pitcher until he's struggling, and it seemed to me like it was at the point where you start getting up to 30 batters and when so many guys get on base, it just, back in certain days, pitch counts weren't even really probably a thing. So they probably just went and did what they did. So, maybe next year, some of you guys who... So this is my blank score sheet. I did get out the... Whoa. Got to get my... this is my blank score sheet for History Maker Baseball. And I didn't use any manager strategy cards. I just kind of played it pretty straight up, making pitching changes when it seemed necessary, stealing bases when it seemed necessary. So I did do the pregame rolls. Although for the game one, it turned out, from what I understand, a lot of people just use semi-harmonic for both teams in a game one, because both teams in theory would be just feeling pretty good to start. And then in the second game, they were both semi-dissonant, so neither of them rolled. Actually, I probably should have played... Now that I think about it, I wonder if I should have played the Royals as full dissonance anyway, but I don't remember much chemistry coming up. Whatever came up, it seemed to just disfavor my team, which sometimes those games happen. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. Nobody likes to lose, but it's I think everything's just getting added in. I don't know who exactly is playing the teams that win, like the AL and the NL. I don't know if it's Keith and Sam are going to play them out, or if they're going to choose a couple people to try and live stream it. I don't know. Yeah. Why is my my screen flaking? That's kind of weird. Well, yeah, and that's why I tend to like projects where I don't end up a little on the, like, this is a special case where I am obviously trying. I don't know if I should be rooting for that team or not. I guess I approached it from the standpoint that I'm trying to play that team to win, but I don't think it's really necessary for that to happen, because I don't know what they're, like I said, I'm not 100% clear on their end game with it. I don't think anybody who happened to win both games and like won by a score of like 30-2 or something like that ends up being the person to get to play it on the channel or anything like that, or on their Facebook page. I don't think that's the case. So I think it's just, you're playing, see which team comes up as the best of each league, and then they'll just play out which teams kind of won. So anyway, I don't want to take too much time. We're about 15 minutes here, and something flaking out this camera. I see something flashing. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing things. Maybe it's my brain flashing. It could be. All right. Well, I got golf coming up here in a little while. If you're a part of the Play, I would imagine you could still join in on the Plaay-Not-Con group. You just go to Facebook and search it out. I think they just have to approve you, and they're going to have a couple of different like seminars or webinars, whatever you want to call them. So one's on custom creating things, and tips on maybe the aesthetics of that and other stuff. So they have a couple of yeah, that is kind of like flipping around there, isn't it? Let me try something. One moment. Maybe my camera is finally crapping to bed. Wow. It's really low down there. So, they have a couple of guys talking about creating cards, and then there's another guy later on in the afternoon, maybe even in the evening, if you want to call it that. Wow, that's weird. That is going to talk about designing games. So if anybody is thinking about trying to design a game, I think his name's Mike Fitzgerald. So I think the two of the guys that are going to be talking about designing like cards and things like that, Bob Hansen, he has a channel on here, Bob's Tabletop Sports, and Travis Jansen. They're, I think of them as cheeseheads. I don't know if they both like the Packers or not. I kind of feel like they do, because I know they're both from up in Wisconsin. But anyway, and there might be someone else on the agenda too there as far as that goes. But yeah, man, that's having a problem. Let's go over here. Guess I better. It might be because I'm running that camera through a hub, a USB hub, and maybe it's just not liking that. What's next? Speak. Yeah, see, that's it. Yeah. So, because that USB hub also has my microphone. So hopefully you can hear enough of this. Let me just see if I can make sure that's shoved in the whole way. And hopefully I'm not. I know there's switches on it. Hopefully it's not hitting it. So next on the agenda is I'm going to be playing the 2 rounds that I need to play for the golf. And I'll probably do that once it's the time. I think it's 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. is when we're supposed to be playing 2 rounds on the Yellowstone course. So I think I'll hold off until they kind of like christen the the start of that. But in any event, it's I'd love to be able to get to one of these things and be able to play live with some people. I know there's tournaments and things like that. Okay, good, Larry. It's tough when you, I one of the things that's real nice about playing, and maybe it's because I had this camera here connected. The way it's connected up, it may be flitzing out because now I don't have it showing at all. Playing solo, it's mostly stress-free unless you do a project on your favorite team, then maybe not. But then you go. You feel like if you're playing face-to-face with somebody, then you get this like adrenaline and then I don't know. I'm not a big fan of losing, but in this case, it wasn't. We weren't really going head-to-head. No early. Oh, thanks. I was hoping that maybe for whatever reason there'd be some kind of like matchmaking or something, and that somehow eventually. Well, if whoever is in the NL has to play the Yankees at the end, this will be perfect. So hey, Manny. So yeah, this is going to be interesting because again, this is the situation where I liken it to golf scrambles, because between you and me, golf scrambles are just whoever's the biggest sociopath wins. Whoever does not have moral structure in their life wins, because they'll just convince all their buddies in their group, you know what, we're going to submit a -16 and nobody will beat us. Yeah, we win. We get the trophy. Yeah. Or at least that's what it seems like in my mind. I don't know. Because it just seems like there's always a group or two in every tournament that are just like, we're going to throw in a score. We're supposed to have a handicap limit, and, somehow we get 4 guys that just seem to be completely drunk, and yet they can go out and shoot a -18. So this is, I think everybody's gonna be on it, but I anytime there's sort of like a what do you want to call it, honor system, it's not easy, but I think it'll be fine. We'll have fun with it, and it's a tough course, so there'll be some people that are 4 or 5 under par, I'm sure. I definitely think that the green, the heavy putter, the good putter, that's, you know what, I don't think it's the good putter is the one that, and I should have probably chosen, I wanted to choose the big hitter because I just felt like that's most reminiscent of my game. I can pound the you-know-what out of the ball, and I mean, I hit some pretty good shots sometimes, but yeah, there's some there's some like semi-utility there that every so often it just kind of like goes awry, especially if I haven't played for a while, but even when I have played quite a bit. But yeah, so what are these different cards again? Yeah, I think you probably going after, probably the Season Pro is a good one to take. All around's another good one. I think semi-gold is what the trouble with the Star of the Green is that all you're getting is the gold, and there's enough golfer control on the course that you may not hit as many golds as might be best for that rating. So I always think in History Maker Golf of the course control basically equating to the field leveler for the most part. It's like, it's like the golfer control, then the golfer rules that the best golfers are going to rise to the top probably when you're going off of their traits. You're going to get a lot of them do it. But the course control, it's like most, I mean, you do get some clutch putting involved in there, but a lot of that is just kind of like baseline. You know, you don't have many, and especially I guess with that, the recovery guys and the putting guys probably make their hay in those kinds of situations. So you went Star of the Green, so you don't miss any clutch putts. I mean, that's the other thing, is that you're going to be picking up a lot of blue chips, but I think you also pick up a lot of blue chips with the 4, the semi gold. So yeah, we'll see. I would imagine either a Star of the Green or I don't think a big hitter is going to win this, but it'd be funny if it did. That'd be great. I'd love to see old John Daly. Daly did have his short game successes. Let's see, what was it was Crooked Stick, I think, is where he won the PGA, and then obviously he won one at St. Andrews in the British Open. So he did have his moments where he kind of like got even the short game and the putting together enough to do some pretty. It's pretty remarkable that a guy who has a swing like that. So, but anyway, hey RJL, how you doing? So yeah, I think going with getting some kind of putting in there. So that's where big hitter. Now I don't think I have rust going for me, which is at least that's a positive. So I'll make half of them. Of course, with the way that the dice have been going for me today, I'll make like 16%. Roll a lot of 5s, especially when we don't. Yeah, it's the white 5 is, it seems to like coming up on those. It's not so bad on a par 5 that's either cordial or double cordial. I don't mind that too much, because there's a pretty good chance you're going to be making a clutch birdie putt and earning yourself a blue chip. But the ones where it really hurts are the ones that are either just neutral or semi-daunting with maybe a 2 or 3 course control, or maybe 2 course control. You get 3, and then you're pretty much expecting 50-50 chance of it biting you in the butt anyway. But when you get one of those where and especially, let's say a golfer has extra control, and then you've got like a 2 course control, and then you get that 5. Yeah, it's Larry Rice is going with the wish list approach, which is he is what's the puny. He is the puny hitter in real life. So he, for once, wants to be able to drive it out there like 375 yards uphill. And whether that works for him or not, I guess we will find out. So Larry, we'll have to compare our experiences through this and see if our scores end up pretty similar. I don't know. I haven't really thought about. I don't really end up playing for myself very often. So I haven't really ever thought too strongly about the best strategies for success. When do you, I guess I try to implement them for the various golfers for like blue chips. But, I also try to think in my mind that I also don't want to favor anybody. So there may be times when it's better to do certain things. So if everything I think is wrong, the opposite must be correct. Newman. Yeah, I guess I should sign off here. We've got this creating your course and your golfer cards and stuff coming up. And, I don't know if they had any hand in these guys, but these are pretty sweet. And the golfer cards, too, they printed out pretty nice, all things considered. It's kind of dark. I mean, it's not dark. It's like it's it needs to be darker in order for you to see it. It looks a lot better here than it did on your screen. So, but they did a pretty good job. And a lot of times when I print the stuff that I've made out, it just kind of gets. And hopefully they talk about ways to help that. So, big hitter, the Dalai Lama. Yeah. Okay. So go. Steve, where is this seminar going to be done? Is that in the YouTube? Or is that going to be in the Facebook group? Do you have any idea? If it's going to be in the Facebook group, then people have to, if they want to check it out, they'd have to go and subscribe to that real quick, and hopefully they'd get approved for that. Because even if they aren't participating, I think, I think it'd probably be helpful to some people. Although, I don't know. Maybe there's a certain level of it that, you just... I don't know. Anyway, get going. See ya. I'm going to get going too. See your mark on the YouTube channel. So you don't even have to subscribe to anything. You could even just search out their channel and watch it and be lame and not subscribe. That would be pretty lame. But you can do it. That's okay. You be you. See you guys soon. Good luck in the golf. And hopefully we learn something about making some cards, because I could use the help. See ya.